Hello everyone in the greenhouse on a gorgeous sunny day. It started, we're back. Not a whole heap of stuff to get done in the greenhouse at the moment. You know what it's like. It's a bit hectic and mad when you get everything planted up and get the seedlings going. And then you get a bit of a break. So we're in that just now. We're in a wee bit of a break. It's more garden jobs than greenhouse jobs at the moment. So just some few mad things just now, like for those of you who follow us on the blog, lots and lots of adventures with jade plants, or some folks say money plants, or whatever, but that means I have a lot of cuttings. So these are the last two that have dried out now, and now I can plant them up and start them going. So just getting them done really. Yes, so I figured I still haven't managed to give you guys a nice update of what's happening as in terms of the seedlings and stuff. Because basically I have filmed it, but it all went wrong, horribly wrong. So I'll show you that just now. But also, I would like to dedicate that. Today, it's quite a bit of a sad day, as well as being a bit of a celebration. So basically, as you guys, all regular viewers know and regular blog readers know, and if you don't know, then you really need to work on your accents to work this out. But we are based in Scotland, and the whole thing is, in the UK in general, we've got some awesome gardening shows. Monty Don is a bit famous for being a very dapper gardener and very cool and awesome, and he does a gardening show for the whole of the UK. But here in Scotland, everything here is different. Our weather and our climate and stuff is different. So when Monty's talking about doing cool stuff down south, we're usually a month at least behind. And for people learning to garden in Scotland, there's a programme called the Beechgrove Garden, which is super important to us because it does things in our climate and tells us when we should be planting, etc. So today I'm going to dedicate my wee tour of what's happening in the greenhouse to the guy who inspired me and got me started gardening 6 years ago, and his name is Jim McColl. And it was announced today that even though he has been with Beechgrove since the very first day it started 40 years ago, he's retiring. It was announced today, so I think they're going to officially announce it on the programme tonight, because it's back tonight, 8 PM tonight on the new Scottish channel. I can't remember what channel it is, but watch. Beechgrove is awesome. And if you live anywhere that's not beautiful and sunny and warm, Beechgrove is your gardening show. So today I'm going to dedicate this to Jim. Jim's retiring, he's 84, he's worked hard his whole life, so he's earned retirement. So in that sense I'm happy. So Jim, if you ever see this, best of luck mate, and thank you for everything you did. Today's video is dedicated to you, and mate, I take my bunnet off to you. So let's go. What's been happening then? Man, folk that wear bunnets can't have bouffant hair, it doesn't work. So like I said then, what's been going on? We've had a mad adventure with jade plants. Check out the blog. I'll link the blog posts either down below or up on the left or whatever it is. I always get that wrong. But basically I had a tiny, smaller than this, teeny little jade cutting that someone gave me over 10 years ago, and I kind of didn't really know anything about plants then, and I just threw it on a windowsill and ignored it. And it went mad, and it ended up, without a word of a lie, it stood about that tall and wide as, and I couldn't lift it anymore, and it just got huge and unruly. But also it developed a real issue where it was dropping all its leaves and they were crystallising and going horrible, and I was really worried because it was looking a right sorry mess. So I went on an adventure and learned everything I could learn to see if I could save my plant. Good news is, hurrah, managed that, and as I mentioned, I've got so many of these little cuttings now. These will probably end up being presents for all my mates. So feel free, go on the blog and read about my adventure with jade plants. That kind of kept me going over winter. We got the new greenhouse installed, which is awesome and I love it. And the most amazing, fantastic staging, which has made my life so much easier. So I can now put away and work in here, and it's great. I don't get a sore back anymore. What else exciting this year? I'm being upstaged by the cat again. She's chasing things in the garden again. She wants her own channel, this one. What else has been happening? Big changes to the garden. We still haven't taken the tree down that I said I was going to. It's still not 100%, and we lost a great big chunk out of it in the last storm. But it's one of those things that means a lot to Kate, and she's struggling with the idea of losing it, so it's still there at the moment. We are replacing the raised beds because after 6 years they're starting to fall apart. So the old railway sleepers I used to use in the old greenhouse to kind of get it at a decent height are now slowly turning into new raised beds. So we've done that. So apart from that, I don't think there's been anything exciting that you guys have missed. A couple of new trees. We trip out to Pentland Plants a couple of weeks ago, and we can never come back from there without spending a fortune. So we came back with 2 random trees that we weren't expecting to buy. So they're looking bonny with their blossoms on them. And that's it really. It's just maintenance and upkeep of the garden really, because you know, gardening is not always really exciting. Sometimes it's just mindfulness. That's what it is. So I told you I was going to tell you what's happening. So let's look at the seedlings. So last year I had my first ever year of sadness. I was going to say failure, but it wasn't really failure. It was just a bit sad because, see aforementioned comments about Scotland and climate, it took so long for all my seedlings to come up last year because it was just awful weather that there was just no chance they were going to be useful. They just weren't going to have enough time to be fruitful. So last year, for the first time ever, I bought plants rather than grew from seed. This year, again, all of these adventures are on the blog, so I'll put links and stuff. This year though, it's looking a bit better. So this year we have carrots. Carrots and beetroot, I'm doing a bit of an experiment this year. They always take forever to come up because even though it's lovely and gorgeous in here just now, it's still quite cold in the raised beds. So those things are slow to get off. So we've got carrots in these little root trainers, and when they're a bit bigger, I'll then put these out. We've got loads of tomatoes. So I've got my cherry indigo blues. I can't remember the proper name for them, but these are my favourite tomatoes. They are gorgeous, they just taste amazing. And on the note of tomatoes, one of the things that I do every year, and Kate laughs at me for, is when Beechgrove comes on, I get all excited because Jim does a thing in a greenhouse that's this size like this, and he always does his tomatoes, and I compete with Jim on the tomatoes every year. It's like, whose tomatoes are out first, whose tomatoes are right first, whose tomatoes are biggest. So yeah, so this will be the last year I get to do that with Jim. So anyways, indigo blue cherries, Sweet Million, which I grow as a bush every year, is awesome. I get so many gorgeous little cherries. Then we go to the slightly bigger ones. I've got San Marzano, just to give us that bit of a change. And then the big massive ones, I go with Marmande. They're big, huge, ugly things, but they taste great on sandwiches and stuff. This year, pepper-wise, the peppers did not come up and I panicked. So I've actually got some plants, that baby plants I bought from the same people as last year. But these are starting to come up. So I'm going to do the Californian again, and I'm going to try Roma this year. So that's them. I've got my jalapenos, and that's it. I was saying I bought little plants. You can look at the difference. Scotland, somewhere warm with probably a warm greenhouse and lights and stuff. There you go. So that's the seedlings that are coming up. There are beetroot in the beds that aren't up yet. It'll probably be another 2 or 3 weeks before I see them popping their head. And I've got some salad and dill going in a chilli grow for convenience. And I've got loads of herbs looking awesome in my quad grow. I'm well chuffed with the herbs. These are fab. So yeah. So very, very quick. It's the start of the year. This is where we start. Hope all you guys are doing really well and your stuff's all starting to come up. And we'll see you soon. See you guys.